we've actually been moving on a very smooth ride. I hope I hope it goes on this floor.
We have to destroy. We have to destroy some
How to
cables.
break
Now,
carpet here.
there's something I want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Is the aspect of invitation now.
My God, my God.
Let's well, like I said, we are going to transcend, but then let's talk about when there's like an event in church, and then there's need to invite some special
A-list
guests.
artist.
Yeah, that's what we call it. So why do you think there's always that need to say, let's bring this A-list artist when you have a special,
Even for the flyer, you say special
Special guest. Ministry.
you know? Why do you think there's need to bring this special guest when you have people, worshippers, ministers that are good beyond reasonable doubt in that same church? And most of the times they don't even get to be featured. Why do you think all these things happen?
I think one of the major reasons is value. When you place value on what you have in front of you, you won't look elsewhere. That's the thing. And I've discovered that a lot of churches don't place value on the ministers they have in church. They rather invite in the Mercy Chinwos, the Nathan Verses, and for a program where even if it's where 2 or 3 are gathered, okay, for sometimes you have it, you have a program that you just have 200 members in your church, and you know these musicians in your church, they are anointed. It's because for me, I just feel the pastors are blind to see that those artists are anointed, because now those pastors that do those stuff, they are self-driven, because now Victoria said something. I'm quoting now. Okay, I have to be very careful. Victoria said something about pastors being what when you invite somebody and you are still saying the person charges you over 5 million, 10 million. There was a controversy that was all over at one time about our ministers. Those same ministers, they want to come to their church, they still backfire. They still have some pastors go out and say, these people, they are charging us too much. They did not they did not say invite me. You saw their value, and you saw that it's good PR for you in your church. You want a lot of crowds to be in the church. You want
So there's actually the PR aspect.
yeah, there's PR aspect to church. They won't tell you these things because a lot of churches now have gone. A lot of churches have gone into business. A lot of churches have gone into business now. So they understand that if I bring someone like Messi Chinwo, definitely these 200 seats that we have empty or scanty sometimes in church, they will be filled and they will even be overflow. And when they call for offering, there will be a return. Let's just break that in. There will be a return on their investment, and you get, which is not supposed to be. You're supposed to value those artists that you have, which some churches are doing anyway. Now,
Very few.
and it's very late, and it's not very late, but it's late at some point, because before you start doing those things, a lot of people have left you. A lot of skilled people have left you. Then you now start saying, those artists, they have been in this church for long, and you have invested in them. They have also invested their time with you as a music minister, because it's a two-way thing. The moment the pastor starts discovering that it's a two-way thing, because as my senior said, he said, a lot of people now, when you begin to think of what you are investing and you're not getting returns, that becomes business. That becomes business. So it's an agreement. When somebody is in your church, make sure that person is fine in your church. Don't go for, if you hear the huge sum that some of these people collect to just come for maybe 1 hour, less than an hour administration, you will discover that a lot would have been done for those artists, that those ministers,
in order to promote them.
in order to promote them.
Yeah.
You understand? So these things.
For me, sir, sorry to listen. For me, I think number one is a place of mentality, right? There's a church in this country, Nigeria, that does that. I'm not going to mention the name, but I'm just going to say what they do. They invite people from outside, treat them fantastically well, and they invite people from their choir and give them the same treatment.
Yeah.
It's a mentality thing. They've created the standards for themselves and they're okay, I'm going to value my people that God has given, mind you, God gave you these people, whether you know it or you don't know it. He told them one way or the other, or somehow they stumbled in your church and trying to make your work go faster or bigger. Do you know what I'm saying? So God brought them to you. So it's your duty and your responsibility to oversee the flocks that God has given you. Well.
Yeah.
Now the thing is to balance it out, right? I think the artists or the music ministers also need to place some level of value.
You see, so I asked that question because when we started, right, we were
Because-
talking more on the pastor not doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
I asked a question. I said, what do you think the ministers can do in order to sharpen their skill and become even better? Because okay, like you said, sorry to cut you. You were talking about the ministers in church being anointed. How do you explain? I know I have a minister in my church, anointed, but the atmosphere is, you get me? When I bring these guys,
The atmosphere is charged.
The atmosphere is charged.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I want, because I hope to get a powerful program at the end of the day. So how do you tell me that I shouldn't look out for good hands trusted over the years?
Okay, let me interject. These same guys everybody's celebrating today they were all somewhere some time back and was not celebrated. They had to leave. Chet, I can tell you categorically now that every major artist, they will tell you, I have a church, no, I still have a father, I have a pastor, but none of them is consistently going to a particular church every Sunday.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yes.
They tell you, I know it's because I'm busy. No, they don't have any. Why? They have to live where they are to go and create value. It's almost like that's the norm. Why? Because I don't want to mention name, but most of them were in a setting, and for some reason they didn't believe that they are going to be this, or they didn't want to give them that space to express themselves. They had to leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes, somehow, by instruction, or somehow by just mere reasoning, this thing no go work for me here. Make I go build myself. Then, after some years, that same church would now re-invite you, and then give you this red carpet reception. It's just value. And as he said, it's all about not seeing the future. Because somebody is with you today, maybe Chet, maybe Smaice, forget that. Can't go bring somebody we know if even do. Do you know the anointing? The anointing where they verse some of us.
Some of them still sing off key.
Yes,
Some of these people that you bring, some of them that
hello,
you
wait till they verse some of these
over-
guys. I know them now. Wait till they verse some of these guys. We say some of these guys where they go bring from this thing, celebrate and give this. They know they do waiting. They know they drop waiting. That they drop every Sunday for you. But just because their social media handle, just like he said, their social media handle. So when you put there for poster, everybody for that state where you go, they will want surrender their Sunday service for your church that day. They go want drop 1 or 2 for you. Is that the reason? Should that be the reason? So all these now wait, I want to make church higher, pray worship. Okay, when you celebrate, when you connect to that man where they come lead praise and worship for your church every Sunday, they're going to feel the same impact. A spiritual thing, not be physical thing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I feel pastors should focus more. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in bringing guest ministers, but if you're bringing guest minister, please learn to celebrate your choir director as much as you're celebrating that guest minister. That's my own decision.
Because you don't know to what end they are delivering those low quality that you feel. You don't know to what end. You don't know what your soprano singers or tenor singers are going through at the moment to deliver on such level. You understand? I personally, I would say this thing. There was a particular alert I received one Wednesday service. The way I flew on the altar, the way I flew and started ministry on the altar, I could sense a presence. There was a move of the spirit that Wednesday service, and a lot of people called me. I was like,
it was
what
powerful
now? This ministration is powerful because sometimes you just need to. May God help us.
And another thing, man of God, sir. I don't want us to channel everything to money.
Yes.
Sometimes I was discussing with a friend of mine again, right? We're talking about the same issue. Sometimes those little, how are you? You want to know their name, you want to know their house, you want to know what is their personal problem. How is your wife? How is your baby? Is your baby okay now? Questions. Those little things.
Sorry to cut you. This same thing you're talking about is where I said they want to invest more in the church and not the person. Because obviously they are not concerned about how are you.
Yeah.
Theirs is just let me get this.
We have
let me
some
fix
we
this,
have
let me
some
do
sorry
this.
sorry because we have some churches whereby even the people serving the church haven't met the pastor like
One
three
on one.
times one. They can calculate how many times they've met the pastor. Forget that they are busy or these people are there for you every midweek.
Let me shock you, sir. And I want to believe this is applicable to almost everybody. Sometimes a thank you, sometimes sometimes a God bless you goes a long way.
Yeah.
It's not just about money.
It's not about money.
This is what I was always telling people, right? Appreciation. You see, one the most charming and very important sentences or words like thank you and how are you, like checking on somebody, or maybe a person do something they appreciate you. Appreciation is very important apart from the monetary aspect, which is massively important. Yeah, this little checkup, because okay, when I was serving in church, I'm still serving in church too, but yeah.
It's just the way you said it.
But I didn't really care about money. I took mine as a ministry, to I used my gift to serve God. It's a personal thing. I'm not saying anybody should do that. I'm not saying that's the standard. I'm not. But what in that case, what I would have loved, or what I would have appreciated was a little bit of how are you?
Concern.
Yeah. Personal checkup. Hello. I didn't get anyone. I didn't care,
Actually,
because of my kind of person. I know send, but some other person,
It goes a long way.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I knew I was dealing with God directly. My own mentality is different. I'm dealing with God directly, so I don't really look anybody. But then a little bit of one-on-one convo, it will go a long way.
Actually.
So that's what I'm saying. Apart from, because a guys person go still give you money, go treat you like, am I not paying you? Am I not giving you money? I beg. Don't do that.
Yeah.
In this setting, this person is investing. Mind you, if anybody is playing or serving in your church, whatever you are giving them is not enough.
It's not enough.
I must say that now categorically. Whatever you are paying them, whatever you appreciate is never enough. So how you do it is what will make up for what you're giving. Do it calmly, do it respectfully, check up on these people, make them feel love. Okay, ask them, okay, what if you your project where they plan? Try to invest in it, even if no be plenty. Okay, the person, maybe your keyboardist wants to, is thinking of opening a studio. Okay, how much is your budget? 10 million. Okay, take 2 million. Look for this remaining 8 million. That person already knows, say, this man get me for mine. You get all these things goes a long way. Even if that guy leave you tomorrow, we always talk about you. Always remember you. Pastors should be thinking like that. Forget about say, okay, now for church, okay, mo buy pulpit, mo go. Now pulpit go do this thing for you.
Actually,
do you understand what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong in investing in the infrastructure of the church. There's nothing wrong in that. Okay. But also carry your people.
Let's talk about the members now. Let's, like, in a situation where you have like a minister from the church that has done a project, let's say like a musical project, for instance. The number of audience or the congregation that you have, I feel like, how do you get these people to get involved in whatever? Because, like you said, value. They have to be that sense of responsibility that this is our own. He just created this project and all of that. Yes. How do you think the church can help the artists now get to the members as regards promoting some of this project, because at the end of the day, you probably release a song and the only people that will listen is your family member.
Family members.
It's as bad as that.
You see 40
So,
on
how do you
Spotify.
think? So I'm not really,
That's bad.
so I'm not really saying I don't want it to be that okay, the pastor has to do it and the pastor is good. I understand that's because our church setting has put in a place where the pastor has a lot to do. But there are some churches that have grown to the level that they have a managing team and all of that do
Media.
how do you think, like a media team, how do you think this other arm can be of support to these artists in order to help push this work and help it get to a wider range of audience?
Okay, to answer you in just very short way, use the same church media. Use your tool to also push the artist. The same way you are pushing your crusade, it's the same way you should post the song on your channel.
Okay.
A lot of churches don't do it too.
I'm a media person.
See,
You see media and you see artists.
They're not
They are never together.
so the same way the church push them those their flyers and those sponsor that
Yeah, but I get
it's
you,
not
I
a
get
bad
you,
thing
I get you.
for you to put. It's this guy ministers in my church. Okay, just share.
Just
You
release.
just share it, just release album. As little as saying it on the pulpit, a lot of churches don't do it.
A matter
See a problem.
a matter of fact, that's not little. Of course, it depends on the size of the church.
Of the church.
Yeah.
Because the size of the church determines the platform and the movement of the church. So let's talk about the big churches. Let's even focus on that. There's a
My
particular church that does it. In fact, most of the artists they talk about is from the church. And it's a deliberate thing, by the way. They don't even bring artists from other churches. They don't.
Wow, yeah.
And it's not like they are beefing any other church. It's just that they know that they have enough quality in-house and they're promoting their own. And once the man, every 31st night when they are doing their crossover, he will just carry one of the artists he knows is building already over throughout the year. The guy has been building, or maybe the guy don't meet one on one.
establish the
So just carry your hand, just talk about you for that massive altar. And that
And that's the
is
big
from
one.
that night, your career don't
Has
change.
changed.
So as a pastor that knows he has that volume of platform or that kind of platform, he's using it deliberately to promote it. I think other pastors should follow suit.
Yeah.
Other big pastors should follow suit, because that's not the only church that is in Nigeria. Nigeria is blessed with massive churches.
Yes.
And I think off of the top of my head, that's the only pastor that is consistently doing that. Which I feel like other massive pastors should do more. If they are doing, I don't think it's enough. They need to do more.
They will have award nights.
You get
They will have
where
award
they
nights
give
where
out
they give out.
money.
I don't want to call the church name, but
Apart from
I know we
this-
know the church.
Apart from giving you katuku, you know they call katuku. They will give you badge, join them. You understand? If you support money, 100 million, 50 million, don't be small money. And it's a massive encouragement to start your career and to make you do this thing. We all know of one particular one where win, in song win music this day of the year. They give 100 million. Today in life don't change.
Yes.
He's doing well for himself. So I feel like other pastors, this is not a dig at pastors, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just to make them understand the little, in a little way, the cry of music ministers. Music ministers don't like to leave the church. If you check the secular world, most of the guys that are doing things in the secular world, where did they come up from? I don't want to be mentioning names, but like 85% of them are from church. They come up from. Some of them, their father are pastors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't want to leave. I know of one that, we get one-on-one relation. He try go that way, work for that. Now he don't japa. He no won't go. He loves to worship. He loves to be in the church setting. But they know they try.
So if I should get you right, you are saying the church should be like should I use the term like a mini record label?
Yeah.
Something of that nature.
And if you're asking me, I wouldn't want to put it that way. The church should be like how a father is to a son.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? As a father, you know, go on see your picking, they try for something, then you ignore them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's the church responsibility, sole responsibility.
Yeah.
The artists too get their own.
But I have a question, and my question is this: now,
Okay.
at what point do you feel that this gospel minister needs to become an artist, as they say? Because example, let me give a little example. Okay, I'm a gospel minister, and then, or the way the society sees that the ones that are gospel ministers are the ones that go up stage, they sing their song, they sing their ekweme, they come down and that's all. And then the ones that are artists are the ones that they want to be on Spotify, they want to do a lot of TikTok, they want to do. No, that's the narrative now. Because the members, so these same members, once they see you on stage, this guy is doing well. And then once you begin, they begin to see you on screen, they say, no, this guy is now, you are going, this concert, this concert, they'll say it's going circular.
I was asking if there's an attribute that shows that this is a gospel minister and this is a gospel artist.
And he's answered that. It doesn't have anything to do with. I think the disparity or the difference is the content of what you are putting out there. The content is the difference. And the difference in content is spirituality. Your message should carry a spiritual base, a spiritual foundation. It does not have anything to do with Spotify or anything. The Spotify thing, I feel, is another arm of promoting yourself, of giving yourself an advantage. That's why I said pastors is not their sole responsibility. It's just like a particular an arm of promoting this music minister. But you as a music minister, you have a responsibility to yourself to work.
Because most of them don't want to work.
Yeah,
most of them don't want to do.
You have to build yourself.
Especially instrumentalists.
Exactly.
They want to every song.
We'll have some. We'll talk about instrumentalists. And then the whole issue surrounding instrumentalists and all of that.
Yeah.
But I believe it has been a very, very, very wonderful time. Amazing session with our guest
Thank
here.
you so much. It's a privilege.
I really want to appreciate you
Minister
for
D Minor.
this.
When you hear that name, you will know that he's in riff. You don't hear riff.
Let's not talk. Let's not talk.
Let me say that. But somebody throw one riff for us like this.
Maybe we'll give this to just tell us how we can follow you on your social media platform.
My social media handle at Minister E Major, MINISTER
I like the way they talk. You know, he made get this ministerial.
Please,
spiritual order
on display on the screen.
Because
thank you so much, viewers. Thank you for your time.
It's all good. All right. So I believe you actually pick one or two from today's episode of Believe Unfiltered. I hope we see you guys next week. Have a blessed day and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.